The job market that we're in is so bad that even job interviews are terrible. I had an interview today for a tech writer role. And for a lot of people that know me, I've worked in this industry for like 7 to 10 years. So I prepared for this role really hard the night before. I studied a lot. I went over the company's website, their goals, their values, why I wanted to work there, myself as well, my resume, the places I worked at in detail, what things I did, how I did them, etc. And I even reviewed the tools that I used and which places I used them at, etc. But lo and behold, thanks to my very garbage luck, I went ahead and did the interview today. And it was freaking terrible. I arrived a bit early thinking, okay, you know, I can review some of my notes, etc. I arrived about like 20 minutes early, and they took me in immediately. And by the way, it was a panel interview. And the first person that interviewed me grilled me for the next hour on how to use the stupid authoring tools for tech writers, instead of asking me about my experience. It wasn't just general, what did you do at this place? Or how did you accomplish your goals at this place? There was no situational questions. There was no processes questions. There was none of that. Instead, I got cross-examined on tools I used 5 years ago. And for people wondering, oh, what's the big deal? Why can't you just study it ahead of time? Because I didn't use the tool for 5 years and I have zero access to it. And even on YouTube, if you were to go through a tutorial, it's extremely complicated to explain through just words and without visuals and without being placed in front of a computer. This is what I mean. Look at the background. So this chick was asking me very in-depth questions like, what exactly falls beneath a content folder? What is the next title underneath headings or welcome? Like, how am I going to remember that? I don't have photographic memory. Or for example, what's the button next to view primary? How am I going to remember that? Here's another example. Body, table, and she'll ask me for specifics like, oh, what order is this? What does it mean? What does this mean? And even if I were to tell her what it meant to the best of my ability, what does that mean? So what do you mean by this? What do you mean by that? And it was constant, what do you mean by whatever answer I gave? Or here's my favorite, when she asked me on like, what's the specific variable for footnote or table? I don't know. There's buttons that you click that generate those. I'm not going to memorize it like a freaking Wikipedia. This woman was grilling and cross-examining me as if I were in a police station for an hour. What was I applying for, NASA? Or even when I gave an answer, and then I gave another answer for a different thing, she'd go back and said, oh, you said this earlier. I think you meant this. This, blah, 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 is the definition. That is blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, I get it. I was wrong in that. You don't have to be condescending, too. There is a way and etiquette to correct someone. You don't have to put someone down, especially as a job interview. And another example of this job interview's analness and pickiness is that if I used one word in the wrong context or simply in a way that she did not understand, she would ask me about what I meant for every single thing I said. Like when I said, oh, I like to map out pages. What do you mean mapping? Like, you know, I like to see what other pages come out of it. I like to organize my work that way. What do you mean by that? Versus with the other two interviews I did with the other panelists, they went pretty well. They were asking me situational questions, general questions about tech writing, etc. I'm like, okay, these are normal people questions. And then I asked a friend, I'm like, hey, so this and this and this happened. Like, I'm not in the wrong here, right? I prepared as best as I could, and I don't remember interviews being this picky. And my friend agreed, and she's all like, this is how the job market is even more difficult. They're sourcing out perfect candidates which don't exist by asking them ridiculously picky questions. And then that's when it clicked. That's also why the job market is so tough. Because there are so many amazing candidates out there, and you have to sort through them. And one way of doing this is by asking them ridiculous questions in these interviews. And I even repeated to the interviewers, I'm like, I know I can't remember this exact function or this word, but put me in front of a computer with this program, I will know how to do it. Like, I've created documents with this tool. Here are my documents. I even showed them proof. Like, This is proof. I know what to do. And then I remembered. They said they couldn't find a candidate for like a month and a half. Specifically someone who could use oxygen and tritium. And gee, now I know why. Because you're asking them these crazy questions. One person may have photographic memory and they can recite all of this for you. But will they have the best people skills? Will they know how to collaborate? Will they know how to organize deadlines and multitask and give you the perfect product with attention to detail? Not everyone. So in closing, interviewers, do a better job. You guys are doing a garbage job. And fellow unemployed people out there, know that these are a lot of the interviewers. It's not your fault. Sometimes it is your fault. But I'm pretty sure in this case, it is not your fault. Keep applying. We're all in this together, like an high school music.